You know where I went to college. It was the mascot was a keg. My God. Like, and so I felt like I'm normal. Like I am normal. This is normal. Everything's fine.
Mhm.
I should put that on a t-shirt.
That is a good t-shirt.
And that's going to be your new podcast tee.
I'm normal. Everything's fine.
I'm normal. This is normal. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
And I remember at one point while I was there, I did like stop and look around. I think it was sophomore year. And I was like, I'm not okay. I can't be here anymore. Like I had hit this wall and I remember being like really severely depressed. And I remember telling like Lauren and my roommates and stuff, like, I'm going to switch schools. I got to go home. Like I can't be here anymore. I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. I'm glad I didn't. I stayed. But, fast forwarding a little bit, I graduated and, failed a little bit in some careers and found myself at a cocktail bar and was working there for maybe a year and a half, 2 years. And it really just kind of like ignited my drinking even worse and spiraled it, and my drug use at that point. Because I would be able to drink all shift and late into the night, and then we'd get off and we'd go to whatever bar was still open, and I'd do blow in the bathroom and just keep the party going until at that point I was still balancing a full-time job the next day. So I'd wake up at 7:30, and
Wow.
if I would wake up or I'd be late to my job, it was just a hell of a time. It was the worst. This is where I'm like foreshadowing into the darkness of my time. My life in that time. And it was just this spiral that I couldn't get out of. And I'd reached this point where I was, a relationship had ended. So I'd reached a really dark point in my depression where I was just drinking so much to kind of try and forget. And also like a mask that I was just living La Vida Loca and having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing a lot of drugs to kind of combat the fatigue the drinking would give you and the lifestyle that I was doing. And I always say that I drank more and more to try and quiet the voices in my head that were telling me I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't pretty enough, that I wasn't smart enough, that I would never amount to anything. I wouldn't do anything with my life. I was never going to be loved again. All of these things, those voices, they were constantly there, and they're just yelling at me. So I figured I would just drink more and it would quiet the voices. The ironic part is I was wrong. Every time I would drink, they would just get louder and louder until they were screaming at me in my head.
While you're drinking, you felt that kind of building up within you?
To the point that I couldn't even look in mirrors. If I looked in the mirror, it was like I couldn't even see myself. I wouldn't, like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me that I was seeing. Or if it was, it wasn't me that I wanted to see. I hated what I saw. And these voices were screaming so loudly one night that they just told me, just kill yourself. Just end it. You don't have even a life worth living anymore. And so that's what I did. I listened to them.